Hello my friends and welcome again to my channel. Aunt Mikey here. I am a kidult collector of toys, dolls, and other fun stuff, and today I have something really fun. Now I picked these up at Target the other day. As you can see, they were on clearance. Well, the action figures were. So I was able to get Venger and Dungeon Master, Hank and Diana all at 50% off. And yeah, that was really cool. Great day to hit Target. So I was really excited. And then I also picked up one of the Dicelings. They had this one. Oops, we've got the glare going on there. Sorry about that. They had this Dicelings, one of the Dicelings available there as well. So I grabbed all of them and I'm going to open them up and share them with you today. Yay! So let's go ahead and we'll get started. So I'm going to start today with Hank, and as we can see, Hank comes with a die, as they all do, and these packages are plastic free, so you're not going to be able to see the actual figure inside. We only have the illustrations on the outside. We'll turn her around, take a look at him on the back. So we can see he's got a D8. He comes with his bow, and there are actually two versions of the weapon included. There's one without the magic showing and one with the magic activated. Other action figures available in line, Bobby and Diana. Of course, I do have Diana today as well. Bobby was not on the shelf. I was sad about that, but we'll get him anyways. We'll get him, I promise. I am definitely going to have all of these because these figures, in case you don't know, are from a cartoon series called Dungeons and Dragons from the 80s. I loved it as a kid. I watched this I'm pretty sure it was on Saturday mornings, probably. I don't recall exactly, but this show was really important to me back then. And as someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons now, it's pretty exciting to see finally getting some really great action figures of them. So, we're going to go ahead and open these up. This is the first one of these that I've gotten. So, we've got a little bit of tape up here. Let me grab something so we can slice through the tape. We have a sharp pointy thing, and make sure when you are using sharp pointy things that you are being careful. I probably shouldn't be doing this through the camera. There we go. Slicing all the tape. We're gonna slide the cap on the sharp pointy thing because I am accident prone. Alright, so we can see Hank is wrapped in, this is paper, but it feels kind of waxy paper, so I'm not too sure if that will be recyclable paper. Might be. I'll have to look. We'll see. And there he is. It's Hank. So there he is. We've got some pretty good detail there on the face. I am not sad about this. I'm actually pretty pleased with the screening on the face. The hair is, of course, sculpted. The figure has movement at the waist. He has, movement at the knees, but they are very stiff. At least they look like they're supposed to move, but they are super not moving. There we go. A little bit. There we go. Oh my goodness. He has a double jointed knee, but as you can see, oh my gosh, that is a stiff knee joint. He has movement at the elbow and shoulder, although his little, I don't know, what do you call that part at the top? Whatever that is causing some difficulty of moving his arm, but his arm does move at the shoulder and elbow. Do we have wrist movement? We do. And of course his hands are positioned for holding his weapon. So that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the accessories. there's our die. So there's his D8. It's kind of an orangey color, like a red-orange kind of dark color, almost muddy. And it's a D8, obviously. Nothing too thrilling there. It's a pretty decent looking D8. It'll go in the dice box. All right, we also have a piece of paper. What is a piece of paper? I am sure this is going to be a whole list of warnings. It is. Warning, choking hazard, small parts in lots of languages. And on the other side, all the usual gobbledygook. All right, here is the bow without the magic activated. And here is the bow with the magic activated. I always loved his weapon. He really did have one of the best weapons. And we'll go ahead and let's see if we can get him to hold his weapon here. All right, so the only problem with having him hold his weapon is the collar on his outfit is going to go up to his chin. Oh my gosh. Okay, he's kind of silly holding his bow. I mean, all right, that's laugh worthy, but okay. So Hank, and the costume, of course, is all molded. No fabric here or anything like that. The figure's actually kind of cool though. I kind of like it. I'm glad I got it at a good deal. I feel like if they had made this out of fabric instead of this rubbery plastic, we would definitely have some better movement here. They could have done a little bit better, but still, detail-wise, it looks really good. Movement-wise, it leaves something to be desired, but I like him. All right, let's put him aside and we'll get Diana. Okay, so next up is Diana, and taking a look at her package, we can see she comes with a D20 and she has her staff. Then we'll flip this around here, and on the back we can see she actually has two versions of the staff. One that looks like it's animated as if she's spinning it, and yeah, nothing else too different. The artwork is of course different on the packaging. I always loved her. She was my favorite character. I liked her a lot. So we're going to go ahead and open her up as well. Take a look at the action figure inside. I really like this packaging. It's really interesting. The logos are great. We've got the picture of the Dungeons and Dragons ride from the cartoon. The premise of the show was that these kids were at an amusement park. They went on the Dungeons and Dragons ride, and they ended up trapped in this fantasy realm where the dungeon master was their helper and friend, and Venger was the big bad. So we've got Diana and her accessories. Slide that open. All right, so we'll take a look at her accessories real quick. Nothing super exciting here. It is a staff. Yeah, pretty much a staff. It is a stick of plastic. The other one is a stick of plastic that has kind of an animation bit to it. And we'll set those aside, and there's her D20. The color is the same as the D8, which came with Hank. And we can see it is a D20. Nothing too thrilling there. If you play D&D, you've seen them before. Let's look at her face, though. I am super thrilled with her sculpt and her screening here. Female action figures frequently just look like the male action figures with breasts, and that's awful and annoying. So I'm really thrilled to see that the sculpts on these action figures are unique to each character, and they didn't just like duplicate a male model and, you know, change up the accessories. Everything is molded. None of her costume is removable, but the detail is pretty good. She does have movement at the shoulder, elbow, and wrist. Her joints are as tight as Hank's were. So I'm going to have to work on those. Probably what I'm going to have to do is warm up the figure. Sorry about the camera moving. I keep bumping it because it's plugged in because the battery was almost dead. Okay. So back to the action figure. So, what I'm thinking I may need to do is to just kind of warm up the plastic a little bit to get a little easier movement out of it so that I don't accidentally break the figure. She does have movement at the knee and this interesting ankle movement as well. I noticed she does have, I didn't look at Hank, but she does have the holes in the bottom for like an action figure stand. She has movement at the torso as well, which is an interesting place for the movement as opposed to the hips, or the waist. She has a hip joint, but we're not getting a lot of movement there because of the costume. But pretty cool. I'm going to give her regular staff because the animated one is just kind of silly, in my opinion. And I will probably display her with this one. And she can definitely hold it. She has head movement as well. Hank probably does also, but with that giant collar, who can tell? Yeah, so I really am liking this figure. Cool. Very, very, very cool. All right, we're going to set Diana to the side. We're going to open up Venger and Dungeon Master, and then we'll be moving on to the other one, the dragon. Okay. Okay, much bigger box on this one, and it was because I almost passed on it because they were labeled as $50, and $50 is a lot of money for action figures, in my opinion. But then I caught that it was 50% off, and then I saw the others were 50% off, and I was like, no. So obviously I bought them because this is still selling for $50 on most websites online. So really, to pass up on it, knowing that I'm going to buy them, I wanted to buy them anyways, would have been a terrible, terrible idea. And so I spent all the money. That's what red cards are for. All right, so on the packaging, we can see this picture of the action figures and their dice. Again, this is also plastic-free packaging, just like the other two figures. Looking at the back, we can see more images of the figures and representing their size compared to each other. The various things they come with. So we're going to get 2 dice in here, an extra set of hands, which I'm guessing are for Venger. And then we have pictures of the other characters. And on the sides, we have some artwork. We've got Venger on one side, and Dungeon Master's on the same side. So Venger and Dungeon Master on this side there. Let's go ahead and open it up. This is a little on the large side for the amount of space that I have. So, sorry about that. Dump everything out. These boxes seem unnecessarily large. But the cardboard it's a pretty heavy cardboard. If you can find a purpose to reuse it, I would. I feel like that's good cardboard for reusing for something. All right. We have a bunch of packages here. All right, let's flip him over, and we can see his wings are not attached, so they are a separate piece. I'm guessing they're in this package, probably. There's the wings of Venger. We have also Venger's extra hands with magic. Woo! And I have another package which contains 2 dice. Venger's D20 is a lot bigger than the other one. That is a really big die. Let me grab the other one real quick and we'll compare. So by comparison, there's the first D20 and then Venger's on the left. This is Venger's and this is the other one. Those are fun. That I did not expect that giant D20. That's pretty cool. All right, another die for the dice box and the D10. And this one's a percentile D10. Cool, cool. Venger's hands. We're going to put those away because I am not going to swap his hands probably. And on his back, we have a big hole. So I was able to get the wings into Venger's back. It was a little bit of a struggle, so some assembly required. The biggest problem is this piece on top. Similar to Hank's, it moves a little bit, and it wasn't completely lined up with the hole in the back. So it took some force and some finagling to get it in there, but the wings are in, and now that they're in, it's pretty solid. They're not going to fall back out. So there is Venger, and he has his robe on. Looking underneath, we can see his feet do have ankle and knee joints. I believe he has a hip joint as well. Yes, he has a hip joint as well. Not that it really matters too much. He does have a shoulder joint, elbow and wrist joints, and then those hands should be removable for inserting the other hands. I'm going to leave these in, and we'll just stand him up there and adjust our camera so we can open up our last package from this box, which is, of course, Dungeon Master. For anyone who watched the show, yeah, you would whenever he would appear, they'd go, "It's Dungeon Master." So there he is. Dungeon Master has movable wrists and shoulders. He does not have any legs. And yeah, some good details there on the Dungeon Master. He looks pretty friendly, I would say. Don't trust him too much, I don't think. Dungeon Masters don't always have your best interest at heart. In the show, he was pretty helpful to the kids, though. And so there's the Dungeon Master and Venger. Let's adjust that camera so we can get a better look at them. So hard to see them two on the same screen. But the size difference is so funny. But they did a good job. I think the screening on all of the figures so far has been really good. The only problems I would have is with these like costume parts that are affixed to the figure but not quite, you know, they move but they don't move enough to be able to really pose the figures. If they had made them out of fabric rather than rubbery plastic, we would have a lot more posability from the action figures. So like Venger and Hank so far are having the biggest problems because of their costumes. But as far as just display purposes, I think they're going to be fine. Like, I'm not going to be playing with them, but if you were getting them for a kid to play with, and I don't know that you'd get Venger and Dungeon Master for a child at $50, but if you were getting them to play with, the playability with them isn't super good since you can't really pose them too much. But yeah, these are going to go on display. They're not going to be really played with, but they're super cool. All right, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at our last piece for today. Okay, there's a bonus surprise in the package with the Venger and Dungeon Master figures. I just discovered this as I was looking through the packaging and getting it ready to discard. So this was in the package and it folds out. It is amazing. It's a whole scene for a backdrop for displaying them. On the other side, it has the Dungeons and Dragons logo, but this is really cool, and that's the reason why the Venger and Dungeon Master package was so heavy. So I just had to share it with you. I'm going to use it as the backdrop for the stills for the end of the video, so stay tuned. Okay, last but not least, we do have one of the Dicelings. Now, Dicelings are pretty cool. They're dice that turn into critters. In this case, this one is the Red Dragon Themberchaud. And taking a look at the package, you can see there how it changes. Of course, they're not going to use the word transforms because, you know, Transformers. And so there he is. It says it turns in 8 steps. We shall see how easy that is. And the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves logos on this one. The action figures were Dungeons and Dragons 40th anniversary. 40th anniversary labels. But this one, these are labeled for the movie, which, if you haven't seen it and you're a fan of fantasy or Dungeons and Dragons or any of those things, go see it. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I did. Had a blast. Seen it twice so far. Probably going to see it more times. I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to see it again in the theater. I will be watching it on streaming quite a bit, I'm sure, whenever it comes out. And this packaging also is plastic-free packaging. So similar to the action figures, we have a lot of a lot of cardboard and paper instead of plastic. And here we have the actual toy. I don't remember how much this was. Honestly, I don't. We're going to have to get a bunch of paper out of it, probably by opening it up, but we can see it is shaped like a D20. For those of you, I kind of skipped over explaining what the dice are. So if you don't play Dungeons and Dragons, you may not know that the game uses multi-sided dice for determining the results of various things, like whether you did something successfully or how much damage you do when you attack a monster, that kind of thing. And the D20 is used most commonly in the game. It's a 20-sided die that's kind of ball-shaped, as you can see. Didn't really need to mention that, did I? You can see that it's a ball shape. All right, so we can see we have some instructions here. I have never really been good at the transforming things, but we are going to try it. We're going to try. So we have this, and it would have been helpful if they showed me the numbers. So this should be fun. You get to laugh while I try to figure this out. Aha! There we go. We get some more paper out. Yay! We can see the footies. And then got the tail. Comes out like that. The wings. Get the feeties out. I think transforming it back into a die is probably going to be harder than transforming it from a die into a dragon. Turn his feeties around. Yeah, now that I've got it started, it's pretty obvious. Not terribly exciting as far as, you know, action figures go. The details are pretty good on the head. Move this out of the way. So I like that quite a bit. These parts being his wings, that's all right. I mean, you got to kind of do with when you're turning a die into a dragon, you know, you're kind of limited. I'd say the detail wise though, it's pretty good. The jaw moves, that's fun. Chomp, chomp, chomp. He's got little feeties, his little feeties move. Got a lot of mobility here with these many joints. That's pretty cool. The movement's pretty loose here in the middle though. I kind of wish it was a little bit tighter. The tail is pretty cool. Got some pretty good movement with the tail. I do like the jaw moving. That's fun. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I am planning to pick up more of these Dicelings. So as I pick those up, I'll share them with you as well. And more of the Dungeons and Dragons figures. So Bobby is the last one from this series that I don't have, and then they did release the other characters also, Presto, Sheila, and Eric. So I have to pick those up yet, but when I do, I will definitely share them with you. This guy's pretty cool. I don't know if I can transform him back though. That is the question, isn't it? I should have paid more attention when I was turning him into a dragon. While I mess around with this, I do want to say to you, thank you so much for watching my video. If you're new here and you haven't already, if you feel so inclined, please do click subscribe, click like, click the bell so you don't miss any future videos. I will be sharing more stuff in the future. My frequency may not be every week because it's going to depend on whether I have something to share and something to share worth sharing. Putting them back together is definitely going to take a little more work. But so there we have it, my funny little dragon. And thanks again for watching. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.